Hi, Craig.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'm very drowsy today. Uh, I don't know. I woke up very early in the morning just so that I could immediately go on a rush to one of my classes, and then
Oh yeah.
afterwards, once I was done, run over to my second class. Well,
Okay.
yeah. So this is Pokey Fed Radio. Welcome back. This time we're doing an episode that isn't, you know, a seasonal episode. Initially, we were going to release an episode that wasn't seasonal, but unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
recording was not successful. Uh, on our first attempt, we just kind of failed, and then on our second attempt, it sort of worked, but at the same time, it didn't. Because
Yeah.
all it did was record my audio. It didn't record his. So yeah, now that we were able to sort things out, now we can actually do the podcast the way that we wanted to.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why testing out it's important before doing
yeah.
anything official.
It's important that you do some testing because it tends to get a bit annoying.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Very annoying. Oh, but whatever. Let's see. What do you want to talk about for the first topic? No, no.
You know, I'm really not sure because I was thinking about all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks that are coming out lately, but then I realized, not a good idea to talk about that because the game hasn't released yet. And, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who doesn't want to, see the new Pokemon or hear about them, something like that. And to you, yeah, because I know that you are, you know, trying to avoid spoilers and leaks. So
Yeah.
yeah, not a good topic.
Yeah, I am trying to avoid spoilers for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because
Yeah.
it's interesting. This is the first time that I don't want to see any sort of spoilers for a Pokemon game. Like, because I want to go into the experience, fully blind. And even though I've already
Hmm.
seen plenty of trailers and plenty of reveals, I want to actually experience the new things that they didn't show to us officially. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
understand.
yeah, but you already like started diving in, uh, with the leaked content, so you already
No,
have an
yeah,
idea.
I always like I don't avoid leaks because either way I'm probably not playing the game until after Christmas, maybe the 25th, 20, December 25th, 26th, something like that, around that time. So, anyways, if I don't see the leaks now, I'm going to see all the YouTubers and everyone talking about the game on November when it releases. So, yeah, for me,
Yeah,
it's
for me,
whatever.
yeah, for me, it's gonna be difficult because I'm also gonna have to avoid spoilers until Christmas.
I'll be praying for you. That's going to be hard, bro.
Yeah, no, because I technically do own the game already, right? Because I already purchased it from Best Buy, so all I need to
Uh-huh.
do is go on the 18 and pick it up. And of course, I'm saving that, for Christmas because it for me it's a tradition. Like I just simply whenever it's like almost Christmas, I just simply save up things, uh, and then I don't use them until that time.
Hmm.
So it has kind of become a tradition for me at this point. So it's gonna be
Like
tough.
we did, like we did with Pokemon Sword and Shield, that we finished the game in 2 days, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we might end up playing together actually. We might end up
Yeah,
playing
well,
together for Scarlett and
now
Violet.
we have the online thing, whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the online
Yeah,
multiplayer,
yeah, that.
which
Huh.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be real. That is probably one of the best uh, implementations for multiplayer they've done so far. Because
Oh yeah.
it it's better to have less people in the multiplayer session and then have it polished than
Mm-hmm.
having a ton of players and then the multiplayer should not be functional in the slightest. Because when we were playing Sword and Shield on multiplayer, it was
Oh
difficult. Like we were
yeah, we had to
legitimately,
search on YouTube how to
yeah,
connect with each other.
yeah, no, we were literally trying to find videos on how to like find each other on the map, and we just
Yeah.
constantly reset the the YCOM or some shit, which is like the internet uh functionality of the game. Like we have to
Mm-hmm.
constantly go back and forth from the wild area,
And
so that
trading
we can
cards.
find ourselves. Yeah, because realistically, the only thing that you can do uh, in Sword and Shield of multiplayer, with your friends at that moment, or I guess in one map, is the tent stuff. Like just you
Mm-hmm.
can visit your friend's tent, but
And see your friends glitching with the bikes around the map.
yeah, that's the only thing outside of trading and battling your friends. But I feel like there's more possibility for things to do in this game because
Yeah,
I do
I
feel
think
like there's.
you can
Mhm.
even see the other people, the your friends' Pokemon around the map and everything when you are exploring together. I think, you know.
Yeah, no, you can do that. They showed it in like some of the very first trailers. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it does look like you can do a lot more on the map.
You
With
even have
Scarlet and
emotes
Violet.
if in one of the trailers they show like some type of emote. So, you know, seeing that the emotes thing that now you can have your Pokemon and your friends' Pokemon around the map and things like that. I really have like high hopes for the online uh yeah, because they added emotes, so I don't think it's going to be bad, I hope so. Imagine we play online and then we do an emote, the game glitches or something like
Imagine
that.
we, imagine we do one emote specifically and then the game crashes.
It, it, I see you emoting in eight pixels.
No, not in 8 pixels. You just see me emote for one frame and then my character just disappears. And it's because my game crashed.
Sorry, your friend has dug out. Connection lost.
Um, I don't know. Like, I'm hopeful that the online will be good, but I'm also hopeful that they don't lean in too much into the cosmetics for the game.
Hmm.
Because it's a $60 game. I mean, I doubt that they're going to include something like
No,
microtransactions for Pokemon
no.
games.
I really doubt that. It's Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's a Pokemon game like of the main games. They have never done that. I don't think if they're selling the game for $60, I don't think they're going to add transactions apart from that. Maybe DLC, but not the other transactions
you,
like
you
that.
think you think selling a game at $60 is going to stop adding microtransactions into the game?
No, but it's Pokemon. I don't think they're gonna do that. They know their main audience is also like they have adults and everything, but they also attract a lot of kids. It's obvious, and I think that adding microtransactions to Pokemon is, it will be wrong in a way. I don't know. I really doubt that that will happen. Yeah,
I don't see any use adding microtransactions into a game
yeah, me
uh,
neither.
if the game is not free. Because
Mm-hmm.
I can understand it when it's free, right? Because you need to make back the money of the development. And, with some of the additional money, you can add new content into the game and,
Uh-huh.
turn it into a live service, right? Games like Fortnite, PUBG, and all that crap. But games that you need to pay $60 for, or even 50 or 40, why add cosmetics that require you to spend real money? Because you're already getting the money back from the development with the sale of the game, right? Like that just seems like you're just trying to squeeze more money out of the game. I can understand adding DLC,
Yeah.
maybe like a bit of a DLC, which it also has to be something very specific too. Like it can't just be uh some half-ass DLC and then call it a day. Like DLC that actually adds some substantial content to the game, you know. But really adding microtransactions to a game that, you know,
No,
is already
no, man.
worth money, yeah, no, that just seems too much. That just
Yeah.
seems a little too greedy.
Pokemon microtransactions are Pokemon cards. Yeah, that's all.
Pokemon TCG, the ultimate microtransaction game and just fucking pay to win game of all time. I mean, I feel like a lot of TCG games are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all just like, pay to win.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
basically the point.
only,
Like, open packs and get the card you
yeah,
want, or
yeah.
buy them from an
I'll
art
say
person.
this. I'll say this. I think one uh OCG, is it OCG? The fuck? Uh, yeah. The only OCG that I can see being accessible without spending money or like too much is Yu-Gi-Oh. Funny enough, and the thing is, like, Yu-Gi-Oh has a fuck ton of cards. Like they have more than 1,000 or like 2,000 monsters, and for a game like that to be accessible on the OCG, it's huge. Like I played plenty of Master Duel, and
Mm-hmm.
at the very least they're pretty generous with the currency that they give you, and also the game does give you like the alternative to buy pre-built decks, right? And you can also buy them multiple times, meaning that you can get multiple copies of the cards that are in that deck. So you can build, either a proper deck with a combination of other cards that you may have pulled, or maybe like a pure deck of the archetype. But then I see something like Pokemon's OCG, and it's difficult. Like you literally need to play continuously in order for you to earn currency, and even the
Hopefully,
currency is not that much.
hopefully they will fix that in Pokemon, the new Pokemon TCG game, live, whatever that they haven't released yet. 1 year, 1 year since they said they were going to release
I
the game.
Yeah, I cannot believe that a game like that has been delayed so many times.
Yeah, at this
Because
point,
it's
just like
really,
give a big update to the Pokemon TCG Online we have over right now, and yeah, stay with that. Stay with the old one. Just fix the game, and
what's crazy
yeah.
is that the people that when the Battle Academy videos, they're
Uh
using
huh.
the game. Like when they're
Yeah.
doing some showcases, they're actually using the game. But why the fuck? Why don't you just release it already? I mean, I get that you need to polish some things out, but dude, it's literally just fucking JPEG being slided into a screen. Come on. I mean, maybe it's a little more difficult than that. You know, maybe I'm just like oversimplifying it. But I
No.
don't. I do think that it's a little exaggerated for the
Mhm.
game to have these many delays, especially when they're already uh, on their newest set, throwing out code cards promoting Pokemon TCG Live,
Since a
even though the
year,
game's not
a
even
year,
out yet. Yeah,
they
the
have
game's
been
not even out
promoting the game
yet.
for a long time now, and they haven't released that yet.
But yeah, so far,
Yeah.
the most accessible OCG that I see is Yu-Gi-Oh. Even something like Duel Links is accessible because they do a lot of celebrations and stuff where they give you a ton of gems. Hmm. All right. So let me talk about an experience that I had. And this was
Okay.
something that I was talking with you on today. And obviously this was off camera, right? Like, you know, we have our own personal life. Uh,
On the
so
bloopers.
recently, uh, I talked to him about my experience of going to Walmart yesterday. Oh boy,
Oh yeah.
it was awful.
A
So,
great experience.
yeah, so to kind of give you a little backstory, what I tried to do, right, is that I was trying to find Sonic Frontiers because I really wanted to buy that game. And once again, it's gonna be one of those games that I'm not gonna play until Christmas. Yeah, sadly, I'm gonna have to avoid spoilers even more now that the game is out. Oh boy. So you know, I went to Walmart, right?
Yeah.
To see if they had the game. Because sometimes Walmart just reduces the price uh, of some of their most recent games by $10. So maybe they thought, like, oh, I can get the game, you know, at a pretty decent discount. But the game wasn't there, uh, sadly enough. But there was one thing, right?
The new Black
And
Friday deals. A lot of people.
yeah, what was in there was the Darkrai V-Star box. Which, by the way, were you able to go there? Were you able to
No,
go there and get it?
no,
Oh my god!
no, no, no.
Why? Did you not go after
I
college?
I went to college. I didn't went to Walmart because I didn't have the chance.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll try
So,
to go. I don't know. I'll try to go tomorrow and see if they still have at least one pack with the cards missing or something like that. Let's see. Let's see what I get. Oh my god.
I
Wish
think
me luck,
your
guys. Wish me luck.
yeah, I think your odds of getting the box are pretty low at this point. But
25 and 100.
yeah, what happened was, again, that I went to Walmart. I didn't find Sonic Frontiers, but I did find the Darkrai V-Star box, and it was at a whopping $25. Like those boxes usually cost around like 40 to $45, and then to find it at 25 was ridiculous. And they have so many of them, which I don't know if they still have. Uh, yeah, I don't know if they still have left. I did see a guy in the store that picked up like two boxes at once, and I was like, dude, why the fuck are you picking up two boxes? I mean, maybe it was like some dad like
Maybe,
buying gifts
hopefully.
for children. Although the guy looked like a fucking collector, so I highly doubt that he has children.
Well, maybe
So
he
he
was a
just
dad. Like maybe when when
yeah.
if you have a kid in the future or something like that, well, you know, I'll be a Pokemon collector buying cards for my son and buying another pack for me, and maybe you'll do the same. Yeah, yeah, this is for my son. Let me take another one.
So I by the way, I got the box. I was able to get my own. And again, it was at a pretty good price. That
Hey,
because apparently Walmart is doing like this early Black Friday deals, and that's where like the whole bad part of the story comes in. Walmart was full, and when I mean full, I mean like there was no parking, like none. We were constantly like going back and forth in circles trying to find a goddamn parking, and eventually when we did, we entered the store, and it was just it was just a whole bunch of people walking around the goddamn store, and it was almost
early Black
impossible to
Friday.
traverse it. Yeah, it was almost impossible traversing it because everybody was just in the way. And usually the aisles at Walmart are very tight. Like they're very squeezed. At most, you can fit in two shopping carts in those aisles, right? So uh, my mother tells me like, hey, can you go get a shopping cart? And because we also bought some Christmas decorations along the way. Uh,
Mhm.
and I went to get the shopping cart, and in order for me to do that, I had to exit the store, I had to get the shopping cart, which apparently there was some dumbass in the like, uh, where they distributed the shopping cart in the way of one of the lines of the shopping cart. So basically, I was waiting for this mother, right, to get her shopping cart, and just so that I could get mine. And it's so douchey because like you can clearly see people there trying to get a shopping cart, and then you're just standing in the way like a dumbass. Like just move. I don't care that you're
This is my
talking on the
shopping
phone.
cart.
Just fucking move.
This is my shopping
So
cart, sir. I'm sorry.
yeah, so I got the shopping cart, and I had to make
Okay.
my way back. It was difficult to get to go back because again everybody was just in the way, and my option was to go through the electronics and appliances aisle of the store, and that was an even worse
Temptation.
decision. Yeah, that was an even worse decision because there were way more people on that aisle than I expected. Oh, I mean, if it's almost Christmas, right? Everybody's just gonna buy a bunch of appliances like fridges and fucking washing machines and microwaves. So it's to be expected. Uh, so what really made me mad, right? And obviously some people are gonna try to spin this, but I was about to walk in one of the lanes of the aisle, right? That was right in front of where my mom was supposed to be, and the whole way was just blocked. It was blocked by a dumbass that was in the way on one side of the aisle, and then on another side of the aisle there was a woman in a wheelchair, and there was absolutely nothing I could do about that. Like legit, I could not do anything about that. So what I did is I turned back around, I went left, and then just fucking left in rage. Like I was just pissed off when I was at the store. But eventually we were able to get out of there. It was just a very frustrating experience. Um, so after that, once we were done, we went to a mall, right, where there's a Best Buy, because that's the only other place that I could think of that I could buy Sonic Frontiers. So we go over to the mall, and we were both really hungry because we had not eaten since 7 in the morning, and it was already around like 12:30. And by the way, I am hypoglycemic, so I need to eat at my certain hours. Uh, so I was really hungry. So was my mom, and we tried to stop at a Ponderosa that was at the mall. Um, and right as we were gonna find a parking, the person who parked, uh, at the parking that we thought was free, parked so terribly wrong that it was literally taking two spaces with one car. Like a second car could like what the fuck? I mean, why don't just you park correctly? There's like the whole mall is full, and you're just gonna act like a dickhead and inconvenience people by parking incorrectly, so that you can have literally two parkings for your own. Don't be a
Yes,
fucking bitch. And then
maybe.
my mom, that was like her breaking point. She was like cursing and just pissed off in general. And because she yelled, the guy who parked heard her, and he was laughing. And I'm gonna be real.
Bro.
Once we actually got to park and we entered the Ponderosa, the guy was like on the line. And if he would have said anything, like if he saw us and he would have said anything, I would have gotten in the middle. Like I would have. I don't fucking care. Like I would have thrown down against that guy. I would have told him like, "Hey, dumbass, where did you get your fucking license? Because you fucking
Let's
like you
do.
literally parked so incorrectly that fucking again you get it. The whole mall is full, right? And it's just an inconvenience for others that are trying to find a
Mm-hmm.
parking for you to park like a
Oh,
retard and and take two spaces. Like just don't do that. Period.
yeah.
Yeah. So eventually we
Yeah.
left because the Ponderosa was also full, and we were both really hungry. So we just went to the food court, and the food court was also full. Like almost every
Bro.
single fast food was just a long line. I don't know why, but it was, and we both ended up just eating Chinese food, which my mom didn't want to. Obviously I was fine with that. Like I was fine with eating Chinese food, but she wasn't. That was realistically the only option that we had because that was the only place that was, you know, that literally only had like two customers.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys,
So
support your local Chinese food place, shop, whatever. Chinese Chinese food awareness day.
awareness for what?
Um, awareness to help your local Chinese shop.
It's not like Chinese food is that healthy either because of how condimented it is.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
know.
I mean, you could eat from time to time, but not all the time because it's just too much, and especially that they give you such huge serving sizes. Um, so yeah, we finished eating, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
mall got even more full because there was a school on a field trip that came in. I don't know what school it was, but just a bunch of students in blue uniforms. So they
Uh,
just come in,
what day?
huh?
What day was that? Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Uh, on the same mall as Best Buy.
Yeah.
I
Real
know what
normal.
school. I know what school was that.
Mm,
I'll tell you
yeah.
later.
Okay. So, uh, basic. So once we're done with eating, we leave because again, uh, it was best to just get in the car and then repark. Instead of walking all the way to the Best Buy. So my mother just
Mm-hmm.
dropped me in front of the door and told me like, just take this and just buy the game. Uh, because I don't think I'm feeling good right now. So I leave and I enter the store and I try to find the game and I was already starting to get nervous because I thought like, holy shit, did everybody already did the game already run out? Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not find it in shelves, which is crazy.
No,
The only
they
the only copy that I
when the way.
found on a shelf, the
Huh?
only copy that I found on a shelf was the Xbox version, so the
Hmm.
Xbox Series X or Xbox One, and that was
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Because
So
usually when a game is new in on Best Buy, they have it back or near the cash register. They have the new games there.
yeah,
I know that because previously with Pokemon Snap and other games I've bought, there's the I they don't have them with other games and they have them apart. So yeah.
yeah. That's basically what I ended up doing. Uh, I went over to the counter and I asked the lady on front, like, do you
Yeah.
have, Sonic Frontiers for the Switch? And, she was like, yes. And then when she rolled back, like the little, storage, they had so many fucking copies. Like they had
Um,
a bunch of
no.
copies of Sonic Frontiers, and then they also had a bunch of Switch OLEDs and, a bunch of Xbox, Series S,
Did they have the
probably
Pokemon version?
the Pokemon version of the Switch OLED. No,
Yeah.
it was just the white version.
Okay, okay. Too bad.
Yeah. So I just so what I just do is that I buy the game and then I leave. It was just a bad experience all around. When we were on Riondo, my mother was fucking pissed, and I was constantly telling her like, "Yo, fucking chill out," because it's weird. We both have like this split personality. But when we get hungry, she gets really mad, and I become extremely calm. Like I don't know, I become very chill.
That's so random.
Yeah. At that point, I was completely ignoring any sort of anger that I had. When we went to Walmart, I was just very relaxed.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my experience. Buying
Like
fucking
20 years. Wow.
The V-Star box. Yeah, buying the
Okay.
V-Star Darkrai box at Walmart that I did not expect of buying, but it was a good deal. So
Just
I
to,
rather
just to
I
tell
rather
Glory
pick it
Mass,
up.
just to tell Glory Mass I have the box, yeah, why not?
Yeah. When I sent you the picture of the boxes that they had in there, you were like freaking out because you're trying to find Darkrai V-Star, and then for that
Yeah,
to happen, I mean, like that's a huge opportunity right there. Like, how can you not pass? How can you pass out on that?
yeah, that's awful. Why will you pass on that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm at least hoping that you're able to get your hands on one because the
Mhm.
offer, like the $25 offer, only lasts until supply lasts. So once all the boxes are gone, like it's gone.
Fifteen dollars, $15 off the product.
Either it's just gone permanently, which I doubt it,
No,
or
no,
it's
that
just
I know that they are going
yeah,
to bring it back, but we'll know
yeah.
not in that
They're
way.
gonna either they're gonna or either they're gonna bring it back and it's gonna be at base price.
Hey, not
Mm.
gonna lie, I, I I'll try. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I'll really try to go because I think they'll still have at least some left. You know, the picture that you sent me, like they really had a lot of packs of the Dark Price one set. So
Yeah,
I don't know if they don't have any, bro. I don't know. That's crazy. That will be
yeah.
like
People was on
who took 10 packs to their house. Oh, a Pokemon
yeah
YouTuber
people
was
yeah,
picking up some
people
packs
must
for
have
his
done,
video.
yeah people must have done a very crazy like buying spree to get the box. And I'm pretty sure some may have shared it around, because like,
Yeah.
oh look, uh, a Darkrai V-Star box that is recent at $25 at Walmart.
Yeah, I'll really try to go tomorrow because I really want that Darkrai V-Star card.
Yeah, if they
And
recommend you going at any
um,
time, I would recommend you going early, as early as possible, just in
yeah.
case.
Hmm.
Just,
Hey, and
you'll make, uh,
that the Darkrai box includes the Darkrai V-Star, the Darkrai
um,
V, and how many packs?
it includes a, so it's like,
Okay,
uh,
yeah, that's
it's
good.
like an elite trainer box,
Yeah.
and it also includes the jumbo card, though it doesn't come
Mhm.
with a coin, which is the disappointing part.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's okay.
Mm. Yeah, because
It's okay.
it's weird. It's the only V-Star box that I've seen so far that hasn't done the coin, or hasn't included a coin inside.
Yeah. Hmm. Should
I
I
feel like they could
buy?
have. I feel like they could have made a coin of Darkrai, and then
Yeah.
also
Or a
Shaman.
pin?
They are doing a Shaman V-Star box.
Okay. I know that the Palkia and Dialga V-Star ones include the pin of each one of them,
Yeah, but
but those are Amazon
luckily,
exclusive or
yeah,
Pokemon Center,
luckily.
something like that.
Oh, okay. Luckily for me, I don't have to buy any of the boxes because mainly the one that I was trying to search for is the Palkia, because I already have the V Star, and by the way, it's the golden rare. Uh, I was trying to find the V, but every time that I would, it would be like a $5, and I was just trying to find for a much more cheaper deal. Until eventually I did found one on TCG Player, so I was still able to get the card, so that I could use the V Star.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't have to buy the box, and I know that shit is gonna run out immediately. Like I know people are gonna start buying a shit ton of those boxes.
Yeah.
One thing that's good, right, about the V Star Darkrai box and Shaman box
Mm-hmm.
not being on. Well, I mean, are they on the Pokemon Center? Like, are they selling it at the
I
Pokemon Center?
think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, yeah, I'm not sure, but I really don't think. Let me search real quick.
Yeah, because one thing that they said about those boxes is that they were going to be like Walmart exclusives.
Yeah.
That like the one, if that's the case, the one good thing about that is that people are not going to be able to just immediately run out all the boxes on on the Pokemon on the Pokemon Center shop, and there's going to be, I think, a lot like more supply available. Because again, what makes
Yes, they are exclusive.
purchasing
They're exclusive from Walmart.
okay, that makes sense. So again, like the good thing about that is that people are not going to be able to just completely run the whole thing out because
Uh-huh.
every time that there's something new in the Pokemon Center, there's like Pokemon TCG related, it just runs out immediately, and it is really annoying because you just can't get anything. Like you can't buy anything new on the Pokemon Center because it just immediately runs out, and the only option that you have available is to literally wait for the product to just restock at the moment and then try to buy one. Because again, I think the thing that makes it more difficult is the accessibility, right? Because it's more accessible to just buy it online, because you completely
Hmm.
bypass the whole process of going over to the store and then, just buying it directly from there. But with that, the problem that it creates is that people are going to be able to buy more of it, and it's just going to run out much more quicker. So I think it was a better choice for them to put it on Walmart, because it won't run out as fast.
Yeah. And they can also like release it in waves. They first release that pack, and then when all of those are sold out, they can, I don't know, get more, put them out. Yeah, just like that.
So like maybe when they run out, they just I
Have
don't know,
more
they
back.
bring in the same in V-Star more.
Yeah, maybe.
It's crazy. That was the only thing that I saw of Pokemon TCG on Walmart. Um, there was nothing else. I don't think I
Forget
checked
about it.
those.
Forget about
I
all the
don't. I
other
don't.
products. Just bring the direct V Star box. Go, go, go.
I don't. I don't think. Uh, I don't think I went to like the counter where they have.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I went to the counter where they had a bunch of the boxes or where they had a bunch of the cards, right? Um, like baseball cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all that shit. I didn't. I don't think I checked there, but where I did check was the toy aisle, and they didn't have any. Like they legit had none. The only thing that they had reassembling a Pokemon was the Mewtwo and Mew figures.
Mewtwo
I
and Mew
don't.
figures.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that box.
I think I have, but I'm not sure. Weird. I have probably seen some pictures of it, but not like in person.
Mm, yeah. Also, one little thing that I do want to talk. Fuck, do I English today? Um, one thing that I want to talk about is how prices are increasing for video games now. There, there are some concerns going around that maybe there might be a price increase for the Switch, and it's crazy,
For
right?
the
Because the
Switch.
Switch has been around. Yeah, the
For
Switch
the
has been around for 6 years.
Yeah,
So
that'll be really weird.
yeah, for the Switch to already get a price for the Switch to
Oh yeah,
get a price increase in general. It's just
that wouldn't make a lot of
weird.
sense, really.
Yeah, it's just weird because the console has already been like 6 years into the market, and for all of a suddenly the price to increase at this point in time, it's just odd.
Oh yeah.
Maybe for something like the OLED, which is more recent, because we are entering a recession, uh, very soonly. Actually, like the global economy is not doing well, and one of the industries that got impacted the most was the tech industry. The supplies are very low, with demands very high. It's difficult to supply those demands. So, it's becoming more difficult to access uh, hardware to make consoles. So I assume that's where the price increase is coming from. But again, for something like the Switch to get a price increase now is weird. Like it is mad
Yeah,
weird.
pretty weird.
I do think, and it falls in line more or less with with like the whole price increase. I
Hmm.
feel like slowly the video game industry is gonna kill itself. I mean, not fully, but I feel like in a way it's going to. Because
Why?
a lot of the video games now are becoming very expensive. Like in term, not just in price, but also expensive to make. Right? Because a lot of video game companies are making video games, right, that are that have like super realistic textures and uh, very high end graphics with high frame rates, and all that's doing is you know costing a lot of the money in development. And with hardware, or with more consoles coming in with better hardware, it's gonna become more demanding for higher end graphic games. So the more you keep doing that, like the more the consoles keep advancing, the more expensive it's going to become to even develop a game. Like unless you're not doing something, like a more stylized game, uh, then it's going to become very difficult to even develop games at all. And all of that is going to not just impact, the developers, but it's also going to impact the consumer. Because I'm sure that there's going to be, there's only so much, right, that players can spend money on a game, right? Like there's only so much money you can actually spend on a game. Right now I feel like $60 is a lot for a video game.
Well,
What?
you, you know that
Mm-hmm.
way back, I don't remember when exactly was it, but old games had the same price as the new ones. Like for example, the NES, the usual cost of the games were around like $45, and Game Boy and 3DS, they had lower prices, but in other consoles like the NES and similar consoles, they have always had $50, 60 around that, because the Sega Genesis had the games were $50, so not that different, and the graphics nowadays are way better. That like and the Super Nintendo, the games were $60 just like nowadays, so the price like that, I think that's not exactly the problem, but yeah, I agree with the that now creating games with better graphics and all of that is more expensive. That's true. And something that yeah, maybe buying a game for $60, it's similar to other years back then. Games were like that expensive, but I think the biggest difference in reality is that now we also have the DLCs, the DLC and whatever you want to buy something for the game apart. from the DLC or microtransactions. I think that's the biggest, impact or change that really makes the games more expensive.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because it's yeah, maybe video games back then were slightly more cheaper, but of course, if you take into account things like inflation and all that, then it kind of gets up to the same amount. Uh,
hmm
but again, I do feel like there's gonna be a point where people are just gonna be like, okay, this is too much. Like you've already gone way too far with the price increase. Because I mean,
yeah, probably.
PlayStation 5 games are worth around $70, and there's even a possibility, right? Like I was thinking that eventually consoles are going to start advancing, and the hardware is going to become more advanced, and there's going to be a point where a video game costing around $100, which usually that's relegated to like a special edition game, is
Like
going to become the
Skylanders.
norm. Yeah, no, that was just like the most questionable thing. I mean, maybe like the base game they're charging 60, and then they're also charging additional for the figures.
Yeah, basically the figures are the DLC.
Yeah. For me, somehow the price always made sense, because it was like a bundle of things. It wasn't just the game
Oh yeah,
only.
you also got the figures and the cards and the
Mhm.
what was it, the the poster with all the other figures of the set and many other
Yeah,
things. So and the portal. So it wasn't a bad deal,
yeah, and
if you
the,
consider everything.
like the base starter pack were around $70, if I'm not mistaken. The only one that was like the most expensive, which was around 120, was the Dark Edition
Oh
starter
yeah,
pack.
yeah, yeah. So the special Dark Edition with, but also the Dark Edition brought more figures than the regular one. So
Yeah, and also have like again special edition figures, which actually have
yeah.
some visual difference in the game. Uh, but again, I do think that eventually some like a video game being worth around $100 is going to become the norm, and I think that's when people are just going to call quits. Because again, there's only so much you can squeeze money out from gamers. Because
hmm
we're already
Yeah, I
paying,
agree
like
with
you said, for DLC. We're also paying for microtransactions. So getting a price increase on video games on top of that, it's going to become difficult for people to even spend money on video games. And it's not
hmm
like the video games nowadays have been that enjoyable. It's weird that a video game is actually good. Uh, one thing one of the reasons why I wanted to buy Sonic Frontier was because it was looking like such a bad game at first, but it actually redeemed itself in some way. Like it doesn't look bad. It actually looks like a fun game. And video games don't necessarily need to be a live service or some fucking, you know, uh, or some dumb online focused game. Like it can just be a single player game where you tell
hmm
an actual decent story, and then that can be it.
hmm
And while people may drop it, right? Like while people may drop the game, the experience
hmm
is the thing that stays there. Like that doesn't go away. And if you make your game as replayable as possible, then that's even better. Because that means you don't have to worry about people dropping the game because they'll just drop by the game and play it, from time to time. But again, I do think that there's going to be a breaking point for the video game industry. Uh, video games are going to become way too expensive, and people are just going to get sick of spending so much money on video games. Because I don't know. Like maybe some will do, Because there are people that are genuinely crazy enough to spend over $100 on microtransactions for a game. So I don't know. Which, by the way, if you do, just don't do that. Like don't spend that much money on microtransactions because it can become very addicting at some degree. So,
Yeah,
just don't spend your hard-earned money on microtransactions. It's not worth it. Like you're not
just
getting
buy
anything in
Pokemon cards.
return. Even at some extent, I wouldn't recommend buying too many Pokemon cards because
No, yeah, yeah,
that's pretty much gambling. Like you're
yeah.
opening a pack, by a chance of luck, you'll pull the card that you're actually looking for. So it's very very luck based. Uh, yeah, one game that pisses me off, out of all of them, are the sports games. From EA, like FIFA,
EA
Madden,
Sport.
um, and NBA 2K. Like those games piss me off so much because people are genuine suckers for those games. Like people are genuinely willing to spend a ton of money on microtransactions just to get some fucking, like some football player, some basketball player. I don't fucking care that it's your favorite player. Don't spend money because that's the whole trick of it. Like they're just
Mm-hmm.
trying to hook you in so that you can keep spending money, just so that you can get that one character that you want. And the thing is that it's not even worth it because they keep pumping out these games every single year. Like literally, they pump out these games every single year, so it doesn't matter whether you spend a lot of money just to get one character in particular. It's all going to be for nothing because eventually a new game is going to come around, and now you're going to have to do all that. It's a complete and total waste of time and also money. So yeah, I do think that people are going to reach a breaking point. With video games not being as entertaining as they used to, and you know, also there being a price increase on video games, there's going to be a breaking point for sure. I think the only company that is going to stay consistent with its prices is going to be Nintendo because usually they make games that focus on stylization rather than high end graphics and higher frame rate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives them the advantage of not raising the prices of the video games because it's not as expensive to develop them. Like it's not as expensive to develop them on that console or I don't know whatever
Something
Nintendo
good.
console.
Something good about Nintendo and not having super high graphic consoles and games.
Yeah, that's the thing. It also another thing that pisses me off is that so many people are focusing way too much on graphics.
Yeah.
Like they are focusing way too much on graphics. Like it's almost an obsession. I can understand frame rate, right? For me, I'm happy with the game being running consistently at a certain frame rate. Like let's say 30 FPS. Like I'm happy with that. Even though some people may consider that abysmal. Like I'm at least happy with the game running at a consistent 30 FPS. Because I'm not a frame rate just like nitpicky kind of guy. But at least there's gotta be there's gotta be a standard, right? Like there's gotta be a standard because you can't have your game run at 30 FPS at one moment and then running at like 20 to 15 at another moment. Like that's just not realistic. But I do think that it's also exaggerated to desire a game that or to only focus specifically on the graphics and the performance of the game. Because it really doesn't matter whether the game has high performance and really good graphics. If the game is not fun to play, then what's the point? Because
Yeah.
the game may look pretty, but the game is not going to have the best story and it's not going to have the best gameplay. So it's just a waste of time. I mean, that's the kind of thing that people were pissed off about with Last of Us Part Two, because Last of Us Part Two is such a
The
divisive
best
game.
game of the year.
Yeah, that was like the most divisive game. Uh, at around that year when it came out, like it was so divisive. There were some people praising it like across the board, and then there were some that just hated the game. And it wasn't
Wait.
because of the visuals and the graphics and all that. The game genuinely looks stunning, right? But again, there's only
Mm-hmm.
so much graphics and visuals can take you. With determining whether a game is actually good or not.
Either way, it won best game of the year.
Somehow,
Yeah, that was weird or something like that. I really don't know. It was weird.
yeah, it somehow got game of the year. I mean, obviously, I haven't played it, but I have heard a lot of negative things about the game.
Yeah, bro, so
Uh,
many. I remember when that happened, so many on Twitter and everywhere, like literally everywhere, were like mad about that. Like they were like that didn't make sense and things, you know, things like that because it was such a divisive game and like with many opinions and people many thought it was like a bad game and others thought it was a good game, and when it won the best game of the year it was so confusing, and everywhere everyone was you know saying different stuff about the game, so I really really wild times.
yeah, I think what made it so divisive, or I guess not divisive, but what made it so baffling about
Mm-hmm.
the Game Awards was because the game was consistently getting prices across the board, and even in some prices that you wouldn't expect it to get. Like it kind of looked rigged, right? Like at some of our perspective, like it looked rigged. Like they were trying to favor the game in some way, so that it could get a bunch of prizes. So it just kind of looked rigged to some extent, and maybe that's why people were so pissed off over the Game Awards. But in terms of the game, like yeah, it was very very divisive, and it didn't matter whether it looked good. The thing that sucked about it was the story, because there were so many different ways to go about it and execute it better, but they just went with the worst possible way. And also that trend, right, of people focusing way too much on the graphics of the game and the frame rate also
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of that one trend that was going on with animation. How people were like optimize or like yeah, maybe like optimizing animations to run at 60 FPS, even though they are incapable of doing it. Like that was just terrible. Because if you actually pause to look at the animations when they're running at that 60 FPS, they were you can literally pause it at any moment and it looks awful. It looks like a blurry image. Because again, those animations, like most animations, are not intended to run at 60 FPS. They're meant to run at a specific frame rate, and then for you to optimize it and then say like, oh, that looks cool, that looks great. if you actually pause to look at the video, on its frame, it looks like garbage. Like it looks visually awful. I think the optimizing does work for things like live action movies, right, where you're trying to capture the movement of actors more accurately, because
Mm-hmm.
it's much more easier to optimize a video footage to 60 FPS if it's with either real people acting or with 3D models. But when you're actually animating it, right, it's it it's not as easy and it's not good either because basically what it's doing is that it's skipping frames, right? Or it's trying to add frames into the animation, and it's not it's not adding frames naturally. It's just simply adding some blurry image to fill in the frame. So it just looks like a dog shit mess. Well, whatever. Uh, I don't know. What else do you want to talk about? Is there anything that you want to talk about?
I really don't know.
Hmm. Maybe like some recommendations, perhaps, for Christmas presents this year.
Hmm. Christmas presents. Apart from Pokemon cards, you
Oh
can also
no,
get
don't,
a Pokemon game. Oh my god, guys. Mm-mm-mm.
bro, don't be biased. Don't be biased.
Well, that's what I'm
Although
going to get. You.
I'm sure
Oh,
there's gonna be some kind of bias, though.
on Burlington, uh, near my house, they recently brought the 7-inch DC Multiverse figures. They usually cost around 22, $20, something like that, 24, and they have them at $10. So it's a really good deal for because those are the figures that are articulated, and you can post them and make them take real good pictures with them. So I think it's a great deal. I love those figures, and they have all men. Recently I saw Superman, Batman, and Flash. Obviously, I got Flash. He's my favorite, but yeah, I think it's a good deal. Well, it is a good deal.
Yeah, it seems like it is. Uh, Obviously, for me, my recommendations, if you're somebody that plays video games a lot, I would recommend you, uh, I don't know, to give Sonic Frontiers a try. Because honestly, I think that might be the game that reinvigorates the franchise. Because after Sonic Forces and what was it, Sonic Colors Ultimate, I feel like so many people were just burned out. I mean, they were already starting to feel burned out with Sonic Boom and Sonic Lost World, and then to get Sonic Forces and also uh fucking yeah, Sonic Colors Ultimate, like it was just the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sonic Colors Ultimate is still pretty much like the original game, only that somehow made worse and less satisfying. It's like drinking a can of soda, but the soda is not actually soda; it's Lacroix.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend people playing Sonic Frontiers, even though I haven't played it. there has been some pretty unanimous praise around the game so far. And eventually, when I do play it, I will give a review of it and just talk about it and see if that was a good experience. It's gonna take a little while before that happens, but
Yeah.
hopefully the wait
Yeah.
is worth it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I also do recommend surprisingly enough, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like I do recommend that. Obviously, I don't recommend buying both games because like let's say you have a friend or something, and you can trade with them that way. And the game itself is gonna have link trade, so you don't need to buy two versions of the same game. Well, there does seem to be a lot more differences this time around with the copies. I still don't recommend it, but what I do recommend is at least buying one of the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game does seem to be pretty fun so far. It is
It
definitely a
looks
huge step in the franchise.
yeah, it looks good, at least for now, and the graphics also look like good. For a Pokemon game, it really looks with like good.
Yeah,
At least the Pokemon.
the textures look really good. Like this time around, they actually look decent. The one thing that I'm
Yeah.
still a little bummed out are some of the background props that they have. Usually when they move, they just kind of move at very low frame rates, and it still has like that choppy element from Legends Arceus. Which
Hmm.
Legends Arceus, while it was a very fun game, you know, we have to admit that it was a technical, it was a technical mess. Like the textures were bad. They were just bad. It looked very blurry, and also not much of the draw distance. But I feel like they kind of sort of fixed the draw distance a little bit, but it's still a little bad. But again, it does suffer the same issue where uh, distant objects that move will have lower frame rates, but then as you get closer, the frames just kind of increase. I do think that that's an issue that they could have fixed during the development of Scarlet and Violet. Because if they
Hmm.
noticed that that same issue was happening with Legends Arceus, then they could have fixed that. I feel like that's a very easy fix. One thing that I find weird though is that on the first day of launch, they're going to be doing a patch, so like a launch day patch, which is it's odd.
That
Like,
happened with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
yeah, but what's weird about this patch is that it's like a full gigabyte. Um, it's a full
Yeah.
gigabyte of a patch, which is a lot. Um, for usually like day one patches, right? Like if a game releases a day one patch is not, it doesn't take that much storage, but then for it to be 1 gigabyte, that's sort of concerning. I mean, you can take it as you will, but for me, it's slightly concerning. That maybe perhaps there's some things that they need to patch before the game launches or before people actually play the game. You know, but I do hope that they kind of keep doing that, right? Like imagine they patch the game up as it goes on, and they slowly improve the experience. Well, I don't excuse like having the game released uh at a bad state because you're already spending like $60 for the game. Like at that point, you're expecting to get a premium product, right? When you're spending money on a $60 game, you're expecting to get a premium product. So
Yeah.
it would be great and amazing, and also just logical to release the game at a good state. You know, but if they just simply improve some of the elements that are already in the game slowly, uh, as time goes on, then that's fine. Uh, something like Halo, like the Halo trilogy does that. Uh, like the developers are constantly updating the game, and improving the graphics so that it becomes like the best game that it can be. Ow. And also, the distribution event that they're going to do is probably one of the worst, uh, like time distribution or
The
that they.
Charizard thing.
Yeah, it to me it seems it's logical that they would do it for this month, because the game comes out this month. But for December, is it logical that early on December instead of doing it on late December?
No,
Because
yeah, that's really weird because it's in November and December, yeah. And you can only access the event, well, supposedly, you can only access the event after finishing the game, the main story.
no, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Oh my god, that's not even. Wow, why? Because
Hmm.
I'm sure that there's going to be people that are going to try to take their time to play the game. Like encouraging people to play your game and then finish it in less than 2 days. Why? Don't do that. Like, obviously, I wish I could enjoy the experience a lot more, right? Because this game does pretty fun. Uh, but let's hope the online does something different this time. Like let's hope the online does actually do something different.
Yeah, I really hope it works
Excuse me.
good.
Uh, okay, what was I going to say? Okay, yeah. To me, the time frame that they're doing it is strange. Like it's just illogical. Because again, I would understand doing it at the start of the month, or I guess now during November, which is the game's release. But on December, like it makes no sense to do it in early December. And instead it would make more
Hmm.
sense to do it something like I don't know, maybe on the 24th or the 25th or even the 26th to the 28th. Something like that actually makes sense because more people are going to have access to the game around that time, because of the holidays. It's an excuse for people to get their hands on the game. So why not do the distribution on those days instead of doing it on early December? I feel like a lot of people are going to miss out on
Yeah, I will probably miss the event. So, mm,
it. I
yeah,
don't know, just fucking just
that's all
transfer
for
a
the
lot of
special Terra Charizard, Dragon side.
no, no, just transfer a bunch of Charizards and hopeful, or just a bunch of Charmanders and shit, and just hope that one of them has the Dragon type Parasite.
Well,
Because
remember
if I
you can't get Charizard in the game as a usual Pokemon, so you'll have to trade the Charizard with someone else. So that way, or a Charmander, yeah. And the Terra type thing is exclusive, I think, unless there's a way to change Terra types. I don't know,
I doubt
but
that I doubt that it's that exclusive because every single
well, that's
Pokemon has
what the thing.
access to every Parasite.
Yeah.
So all you really need to do is just like transfer a Charizard, which I guess that's the only problem because the game won't be having connectivity to uh, Pokemon Home until until 2023. Or was it Pokemon Go? I don't know. I don't know if it was Pokemon Go that is gonna have connectivity until the 2023 or Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that's the main problem, right? Oh, you know what? I think what they, I think I might have a slight idea of what they're going to do with the terror types. Like maybe it's not actually as random, and maybe it actually depends on the nature of the Pokemon. You know how usually like the nature of the Pokemon heavily depends on what the hit move of the Pokemon is. Maybe that's what they're doing.
I don't know. Maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'll have to confirm it once I actually
Mm.
play it. Uh, but at the moment it's just pure speculation. Maybe it is just
Okay, so
as random as it is.
Charizard with the mightiest mark will be appearing in Black Crystal Terra raid battles from Tuesday, December 1 to Sunday, December 4th, 2022. And then again from Thursday, December 15 to Sunday, December 18. Charizard cannot normally be encountered in Paldea, but during these two windows, you'll be able to encounter a Charizard with Dragon Acid Stratype at Black Crystals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why they're doing it. Because you can encounter Charizard in the game.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, dude? Like, actually, what the fuck? Why did they do this? Why do they do this? Why do they just have a bunch of Pokemons in the Pokedex and then some of them almost being fucking difficult to find? Why? I think the Pokemon that has been the most abysmal to get out of any of the games so far is Spiritomb from Legends Arceus. That is one of the worst like Pokemon um that you can get access to in any of the games because you literally need to. It's very similar to the Zygarde shit where you need to collect like the cells and whatnot. This
Mm-hmm.
time it's just like spirits, but
Okay.
what makes it worse is that it's an open-ended world, right? Like you're going through an open-ended world, and you need to closely look for them because there's so many of them, and the locations are so big. It's it's not easy to find them all. I mean, I had to transfer a goddamn Spiritomb just to complete the Pokedex.
Oh,
Yeah, it was abysmal. It was just bad.
yeah.
Hopefully, they do it in a way that is not as frustrating. I mean, that is if they do it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah. One thing that I did tell you was that Pokemon like Persona 5 Royal released already for the Switch and the Xbox, but it
Mm-hmm.
came off with like, the biggest surprise because even though they really teased it up during or I guess for the anniversary, after that there was like no peep about the game, like nothing about the game. Uh, it just kind of went radio silent, and I didn't even knew that the game had already come out, and I'm really hoping to play it. So I don't know. It just came off as like a big surprise. Uh, that the game just dropped the way that it did, without a single announcement video.
Surprise, fans! You have this game.
Bro, bro, imagine like the fellows don't do so good, or don't do as well because of that. Because I feel like the promotion, like marketing, definitely plays a huge role on, uh, on whether a product actually sells. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't promote it as much, people are not going to know about it, and even if you do promote it, but you still don't promote it as much, people are just going to forget about it, and it's just going to go over their head. So, if you're gonna market a product, you might as well keep marketing it consistently instead of just abandoning it, and just hoping for
Yeah.
luck.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, and also apparently Black Panther is already out on theaters.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I
Mm.
think I might end up watching it because my mom really wants to see it.
I want
I'm not.
to see Black Adam.
Mhm. I'm not all too interested in on Black Panther. You know,
Me neither.
yeah, because I feel like in a way people kind of uh overblew the first movie, right? Like it's a bit overrated. Uh, obviously I haven't seen it, but I have seen like
You haven't seen
reviews.
the first Black. You haven't seen Black Panther one?
No, but
Bro.
I have seen reviews and also uh analysis of the movie, so I kind of have an idea of what the main plot is about. But it just
Oh
seems
my
to me
god,
like a
bro! If you're going to watch the second one, go to Disney Plus and see the first one
again.
first,
I'm
and
not all
then
too interested
go.
in watching it. I'm not all too interested in watching it. Okay.
Bro,
I
but
mean,
if you're
hell,
going
I
to
would.
see it because your mom wants to see it, go to Disney Plus, see the first one, and then
Oh my
see the
god.
other one. Bro, why?
I would prefer that we would go to the theaters and then we would just go on our own to watch Black Panther, or not Black Panther, Black Adam.
Oh my god.
I'd rather watch Black Adam.
Black Adam looks cool.
Eh, I mean, it looks cool because they hired The Rock to do it.
It's The Rock! And it's the bad guy from Shazam, finally.
Like, seriously, the
And they
Rock
have
is.
the Legend of what? What's the name? Legend of Justice? No, I don't know. What's the name of the other Justice League thing? Oh my god, why? Oh my god, I forgot the name.
I mean, dude, you're the DC nerd. I mean, just try to remember.
Isn't the Legend of Justice? Oh my god, I don't know.
Bruh.
Legend.
You seriously telling me that you forgot?
Bro, I know the Justice League, but
Yeah, apparently Black Adam is like the enemy uh of Shazam. Yeah, maybe they're gonna build up.
yeah, it's
Uh,
the main villain.
yeah, maybe they're gonna build that up and have them both eventually fight. No, which is probably why they're doing a second movie. Of Shazam. Hmm. Hmm.
The Justice Society. I think that's the name. I think, yeah,
I mean,
Justice Society.
I don't understand much of the DC shit, but why?
Yeah, yeah. It has to be the Justice Society. Whatever. But yeah, it looked cool. Finally, Doctor Fate. So I don't know. The movie looks cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. One movie that I'm morbidly curious about is Strange World. I don't know why. Like I have this morbid curiosity about how the
What's that?
film's gonna end up being. It's that new Disney movie that is gonna come out.
Oh,
It
yeah,
sounds,
yeah. The one that they aren't promoting.
it feels kind of like Treasure Planet in a way. Like I don't know if you remember that movie. It's like a very like obscure film a Disney lineup. But yeah, I'm kind of getting like some Treasure Planet vibes from it. Uh,
Mm-hmm. True.
yeah, no, I might drop to watch the film and see how it is. You know, just because of morbid curiosity. Oh wait, the One Piece movie I think is out.
Yes.
One
Yeah,
Piece
it's out.
Red. Yeah, because I'm checking right now. Uh, like the film lineup. It may depend. Uh, because our movie theater is, it's not the same as the ones in the U.S. So,
But I know it's
oh
out.
yeah, actually they're streaming it on the movie theater next to us. It's at
Mm-hmm.
12:40, so it's not a bad time actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the only downside is that it's like a musical. Some people in Japan did not
You
like it because of
haven't
that.
watched One Piece. The only downside of the movie of One Piece is that you haven't watched anything about One Piece. So yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, can you really blame me? Can you really
Then,
fucking blame me? I mean, I
well,
have seen a
Pokemon
bit
has
of
more
One Piece.
episodes than One Piece.
I did see one of the arcs. I did see a full
One.
arc of One Piece, but dude,
Yeah.
there are so many arcs in One Piece. It's gonna be very difficult to even get into that now.
Pokemon has more episodes than One Piece, so you have watched Pokemon.
Yeah, but I have the benefit of the doubt that I already watched it over time, and I grew up with it. I didn't grow up with One Piece. I didn't grow up with One Piece. Okay, so is that gonna be all? Is that gonna be it for today? We're gonna
Yeah,
wrap
I
it
think
up.
so. Yeah.
All right then. Thank you guys for sticking around on the podcast.
Yes,
If
thank you
you
for
somehow made
joining
it this
us.
far, yeah, if you
Yeah.
somehow made it this far, uh, and obviously we wish you a wonderful day to each and one of you.
Yes. Please, guys, stay safe
Yeah,
and
this was
help the world
Pokefed
be a better
Radio.
place.
Yeah, and this was Pokefed Radio, and we're peacing out. See ya.
Goodbye. Bye.